You back now to one of our top stories. EFF leader Julius Malema's pre-sentencing set to take center stage this week. This is after he was found guilty on all counts in his firearm discharge case. The matter dates back to 2018, where he was filmed discharging a firearm during the party's anniversary celebrations at Sisa Tugashe Stadium in Mdantsane. UNISA's politics professor Dirk Coetzee joining us now. Professor Coetzee, good to have you with us. Time and time again, when we have spoken to legal experts, they have been sounding something of a warning to say that if Mr. Malema is sentenced to more than a year in prison without the option of a fine, this could have profound effects on his political career. So my starting point is, what are the chances that this could result in a custodial sentence?
Good evening. Yes, I think the chances are very good. The fact that he has already been found guilty and now it is a question about the sentence itself removes the uncertainty about what will be or might that be the outcome. It is now about just the severity of the sentence. 12 months for this type of, or less, is for this type of transgression, will be seen by the public in general as actually something that has been influenced by political factors. So I think it is unlikely that he will receive a sentence which will be less than that. Whether there's the option of a fine, I think that is the other aspect. I'm obviously not a lawyer, I'm a political scientist, so I can't express myself so much on that.
Yeah.
But the point is, if he receives a sentence of longer than 12 months without the option of a fine, then he is immediately disqualified as a member of parliament. And I think then all the other consequences will follow after that, as in terms of what his position, for example, in the EFF will be.
You talk about the political descriptions around this case. The EFF itself has long called this a political, quote-unquote, witch hunt. I'm trying to get into the mind of the presiding officer here, Magistrate Toinette Olivier. Do you believe that she probably will want to send a message here through her sentencing of Mr. Malema? Or do you believe that she might be lenient depending on what the aggravating circumstances versus mitigating circumstances will be, which will be probably debated this week in court?
Yeah, I think she's under tremendous pressure because by implication she knows that there's a lot of public attention on what she's going to decide or will announce, that it will have political implications. It's unavoidable. In either way, whether it is a lenient sentence or one which will disqualify him to continue in Parliament. So I think what is most possibly going to happen is that because she presented a judgment which was exceptionally long and exceptionally in detail, and it almost gave you the indication that she prepared herself or to defend herself in the case of an appeal. And that is most possibly what is going to happen. When our constitution is saying that when there's an appeal pending, then the person is not yet disqualified as a member of parliament. So all the appeals must first be exhausted before that takes effect. And I think that is possibly one of the options or one of the strategy that Julius Malema has in mind.
That the public trial itself has a shaming effect on the public representative. It has a shaming effect on the public representative because already people are saying, oh, well, why should he not lose his seat in Parliament? Why should he not lose his seat in the JSC? And the fact that, my ladies, the fourth part of it is that we are not asking for a no punishment. We are simply asking for a non-custodial punishment. And no one can sensibly say that other forms of punishment do not constitute punishment, which is the zero-sum argument posited by the state. There is only one punishment as far as that concerned, is custodial. So what we say, my ladies, is that you have a range of penal options that would reflect the society's disapproval of, I would say, public misconduct by public representatives. And the custodial penalty, in fact, achieves the opposite. So we say that ultimately is a neutral fact that he's a public leader and a role model. The next one that they say you should actually send him to prison for is that he has no remorse. But they themselves say in Hewitt versus S, absence of remorse is not an aggravating factor. The state says that in paragraph 17 of their heads of argument. It's not an aggravating factor. But my lady, there is a fundamental legal problem with the argument. If an accused says, after conviction, I disagree with the magistrate, I'm going to appeal because the magistrate has wrongly found me guilty. The state says, infer from that he's not remorseful. It's absurd because even under Section 35 of the Constitution, he has a right to an appeal. And the right to an appeal is based on a view held by an accused, wrongly or what, that the magistrate is wrong. You cannot say, I am going to punish this accused because he articulated a view that I'm wrong. That is just an abuse of judicial authority. So he is entitled to say, I respectfully think that the judge got it wrong, and I'm going to appeal. The judges on appeal may say to him, Mr. Malema, it is you who is wrong, and not the judge. But in expressing a penalty, a judge cannot say, I'm going to punish you more because you've said it's absence of remorse just because you say, I do not agree.
No jail, just a punishment. Thembeka Ngcukaitobi makes explosive plea for Julius Malema. No jail, just a punishment. Thembeka Ngcukaitobi makes explosive plea for Julius Malema. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones, Waina TV. Please subscribe. Julius Malema's defense pushes for non-custodial sentence in firearm case. The sentencing proceedings of Julius Malema at the East London Magistrates Court have reached a critical stage, with his legal team urging the court to impose a non-custodial sentence rather than direct imprisonment following his conviction in a high-profile firearm-related case. Leading the mitigation arguments, Advocate Thembeka Ngcukaitobi emphasized that the defense is not seeking to evade accountability, but it is instead requesting an alternative punishment that does not involve incarceration. The case stems from events in 2018 during a public rally at the Sisa Dukashe Stadium in Mdantsane, where Julius Malema was convicted of unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition, as well as discharging a firearm in a built-up area. Addressing the court, Ngcukaitobi underscored the broader implications of the trial on a public figure, noting the reputational consequences already faced by the EFF leader. Every public trial itself has a shaming effect on the public representative, he submitted. It has a shaming effect on public representative because already people are saying, why should we not lose his seat in parliament? He further clarified the defense position. We are not asking for no punishment. We are simply asking for a non-custodial punishment. The state, however, is pursuing a far more severe outcome, urging for a custodial sentence of up to 15 years. Prosecutors maintain that the seriousness of the offenses warrants imprisonment, citing concerns around public safety and accountability. A key point of contention in the proceedings has been the issue of remorse. Ngcukaitobi rejected the argument that Malema's intention to appeal should be interpreted as a lack of remorse. He stressed that exercising the constitutional right to challenge a conviction cannot be used as an aggravating factor. Even a judge says after the conviction, I disagree with the magistrate. I am going to appeal because the magistrate has wrongly found me guilty, he argued, warning that penalizing such conduct would amount to an abuse of judicial authority. The defense also referenced a pre-sentencing report compiled by a social worker, which recommended alternative sentencing options, such as a fine or other non-custodial measures. Nqokaitobi maintained that South African law provides a range of sentencing tools beyond imprisonment, which can still reflect society's disapproval without resorting to incarceration. He further cautioned that imprisoning a prominent political leader could have unintended consequences, urging that custodial punishment is not always the most effective form of justice. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Jones. Wena TV, please subscribe. Bye for now till we meet again next time. Subscribe.